becomes the past. This becomes the past. This becomes the past. This becomes the past. That becomes the past, does it not, successively? But yet, through that, wait a minute. It's going this way, though, isn't it? No, no, no. The development is going this way. It's just going in the past. Okay, we've got that, okay? The development, curiously enough, like any process in evolution, is going forward. But time is going in the other direction, is it not? Now, we're just guided by our reflections. And in order to help your reflections a bit more, if you'd pass some of these back, these are the fragments of Parmenides. Now, I would just like to stay with one fragment, and that is called fragment number 6. All right? Now, that's called the problem. So, let's take a look at 6. Yes, please. Pass these back. Now, would you agree, as we look at this, hold it before you read it for a moment, okay, just for a moment. Would you agree, we have to use 2 sets of terms now, to be, not to be. Right, that's what we want to do. We want to use these 2 sets of terms. Would you agree, the future is not? Right, is not. To be is here. So to be is caught between 2 not to be's. So wouldn't you agree the simplest statement to make about anything, therefore, in time is that both is and is not? That is, it's a mixture of to be and not to be, and 2 ends. From this very simple diagram, which I worked long and arduously on. So now let's read together. It is necessary to say and to think, that being is. For to be is possible, and not to be is impossible. I bid you consider this, and I warn you against another path along which mortals wander ignorantly, with divided minds and scattered thoughts, so befuddled and helpless as to resemble the deaf and blind. There are crowds of them, without discernment, maintaining that to be and not to be are the same and not the same, and that everything is in a state of movement and counter-movement. Everything is in a state of movement and counter-movement. Well, then, whatever we say is equally to be and not to be. Now, look here. Everything depends upon this one paragraph. What does it mean to say that to be and not to be are the same? Okay. It's the same in one sense, right? And in another sense, it's not the same. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, it is what it's saying.
Does it fit our diagram?
Yeah.
In one sense, to be and not to be. Another sense? It's the same, right? To be and not to be is the same. In another sense, it's not the same. And there's a counter movement. There's a movement and a counter movement. What does he tell us? Avoid this path. Avoid this path. Come then, listen to my word. Take heed of it. I will tell you of the two roads of inquiry which offer themselves to the mind. I'm in quote number 5. The one way that it is and cannot not be, right? What is cannot not be, right? It cannot not be. So if we're dealing with anything that is, that can become not, we know one thing, that ain't is. That's not being. There isn't any more fundamental notion in philosophy that is misunderstood than this notion. You can line up a whole history of philosophers and you can just judge them in terms of this 1 or 2 paragraphs and see where they fall. Take a look at 5 and take a look. Is that what he's saying? What is cannot not be. This is saying what is can in fact not be. And one time it wasn't, and now is. And therefore we know one thing about it. Insofar as whatever that does, it is not what is, or being. Right? That has nothing to do with what is. Therefore, you see, this is not a conceivable structure of thought. Leibniz, Spinoza take it as, there are many possible worlds. If the worlds are possible, then they must be. As many universes as there can be, that's the number of universes they are. If they are logically consistent, therefore they can be. Therefore he takes to be, or what is, to be of an idea that does not and cannot be expressed within these diagrams in our understanding of paragraph 5 and 6. That's what we're going to push now, 5 and 6. Watch. Come, listen to my word and take heed of it. I will tell you of two roads of inquiry which offer themselves to the mind. The one way, that it is and cannot not be. It's the way of credibility based on truth. The other way, that it is not, and that not being must be, can't be grasped by the mind. For you cannot know not being and cannot express it. Well, there remains, therefore, but one word to describe being. Paragraph 7. Only one word by which to express the true road. Is. That's it. Now, watch the language. Right? He uses the word path many times in this work. Path, road. Now, along this road, there are many signs. There are a whole bunch of signs on this road. Watch the way he describes it then. Right?